Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to show you how I made this absolutely beautiful 3D mixed media frame of a skull. I absolutely love it, and please let me know in the comments what you think. So I basically started by downloading, sorry it's upside down guys, I don't know what happened with the camera angle. I downloaded, or I searched for copyright free skulls, and during my search this popped up and I really liked it and I had an idea of what I could do with it. So I took the back of the frame, that the picture frame that I'd got, and I cut out the picture to size. Now I glued the frame, I glued the glass basically to the frame so that the resin couldn't come through it. I didn't catch that on video, I'm sorry, but if you go back and have a look at the Christmas trees that I did, you'll be able to see there how I actually glued the frame in. It's just with Elmer's glue basically. So then what I'd done when I'd positioned the picture where I wanted it, I just quickly stuck it down with some sellotape so it wouldn't move about. I had kept the spikes on the back of the frame. I like to do that in case someone wants to buy it, or someone wants, if I give it to someone, then I can put the back on it for transporting it so nothing breaks. Yeah, so I glued that down, and then what I did, I got a Sharpie and I basically just went around the black areas of the picture, following that with the Sharpie onto the frame. So once that was all done and I'd got all the outlining, I do apologise if you can hear some crunching in the background. That's Willow chewing up another toy that I've bought her. Anyway, once I'd got all that completed, rather stupidly, I took the picture out of the back of the frame. And of course I'm working on a black table. So you can guess what happened. Just watch this. Yes, I can't see it. Can't see the outline. Luckily, I just stuck the piece of paper back underneath. Of course, I had to take the sellotape off because that was sticking everywhere. But yeah, I just turned the picture over and just put it back down so that I could actually see it. And then it was time to paint it. So I'm using acrylic paints. I got these acrylic paints from a shop called The Works in the UK, and they were £2 each. So I'm using white and I'm using black. And then I treated myself, I did at the weekend, to some nice new paintbrushes from the range. So I'm using those. I think the one that I used was a size 2, whatever that is. A paintbrush is a paintbrush to me. But I think it was a size 2. And interestingly, the actual little palette that I'm using, that's actually made out of Aquacast. I've got a mould for tic-tac-toe game, you know, the XOXO game, and I had a bit of the Aquacast left and just decided to throw it into the mould, and it didn't quite reach the top, so I just thought, oh, whatever. And when I took it out, I thought, oh my gosh, what a brilliant palette that would make, and it's certainly come in handy. So what I'm doing here, guys, is I'm basically just going around the outlines with the white, just making sure everything's covered, and then obviously I'll go back in now once that's all covered with the black. So I must admit, I did really think that it adding all these colours, well, adding the black and white, brought it to life. And I really liked how it was looking. But I just think it needed something a little extra. So I didn't actually have any black glitter, but I had some black, gold and silver, like little love hearts. So I thought they would be ideal for putting in the eyes, just to make sure the eyes stick out more. Now you can't really see there, but the mouth, it's actually, I didn't paint in the mouth. I painted round the teeth, but I actually left the teeth clear because I thought if I put a light behind this, it'll shine through the teeth, and I thought that would make it look like really unusual. So I just put some of the glitter in the eyes. I did make a mess of it. Oh gosh, you should have seen it. There was little lovers everywhere, and I did have to go over and just repaint a few bits. But once it was all complete, I'm sure you'll agree it looks okay. So once it had dried overnight, it was then time to make the actual head scarf part of it. So I'd got this ribbon that I use for wreaths, and I decided to use that. And what I decided to do was cut out the shape of the actual part of the scarf that would be on the skull or on your head, so to speak, and cut the shape out. So I just basically followed the template, used the paper as like a template, and just basically followed it round until I'd got the shape I wanted for the actual scarf part, the head part. And then I cut out 2 small pieces to make the actual bow. So I actually secured these together with a tiny piece of silver elastic. It was just lying there on the table. So I thought, that's ideal. I will use that. So here I was just deciding where I actually wanted the bow, and then I realised that possibly you'd be able to see the actual Sherpie underneath the bow, and I was really worried that it wouldn't come off, but actually it did. Just with a normal baby wipe, just gave it a rub and it came off the glass, which was ideal. So then I realised that if I put some resin onto the actual frame, then this headscarf bit is going to start floating about. So I just glued it down with some Elmer's glue. I did try and glue down the actual bow part, but that just kept coming up. But the headscarf part, that just stayed down, so that was ideal. So then it was time to mix the resin. So I'm using Inklabs resin, and I literally used 5 mils Part A and 5 mils of Part B to create this frame. And, you know, the smallest amount, that's all that was needed. So once I'd got both parts in, I then gave it a good mix. Please make sure you're wearing your PPE, guys, when you're mixing this resin. Make sure you've got your gloves on in a well-ventilated room and that you're wearing a mask, just for your own safety. So I started pouring the resin in the eyes where the actual glitter part was, or the love arts, because even though they'd stuck into the paint, I wasn't quite sure that they'd be secure enough. So I started there, and then I just put it around the frame, and then I'm just using a silicone tool here just to push it into all the corners and just spread it about evenly all over the frame. So now it's time to add the bow, and I basically just placed the bow where I wanted it. Just made sure that it was pushed into the resin, and then it was fine. And I also decided to add the spider. There's a silver spider in the bow, and with that I did put some resin onto the bottom of the spider, but it wasn't quite sticking. So what I did with the remaining, there was literally tiny little bit in the cup that I mixed the resin in. I just poured that over, and that secured it fine. So once that was done, I just let it set overnight, 24 hours, and let it set. And I'm sure you'll agree, the finished product, I absolutely love it. The video of it's coming along now. If you do like it, guys, please do press the like button, because that does help YouTube actually push my video out. And if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. The next one I'm doing is something similar but something different. And honestly, if it turns out the way I want it to, it will be brilliant. And please don't forget to comment. And thank you very much for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye.